Hey everybody, I'm back. Okay, this video is going to be about battery maintenance, charging and stuff like that. If you follow my videos, you know that I've got 3 batteries in here that power, all the stereo crap that I have installed in my boat. So specifically charging these things, I've only got 2 battery chargers that I use. And here they are right here. Just your basic Schumacher one. That, and I got a battery tender. I used to use that on my motorcycle. Really slow but effective. Just plug and play and walk away. So that becomes a real big pain in the ass when those are the only 2 battery chargers I've got, aside from what the boat does itself. About 2 years ago, I actually purchased an Onboard battery tender. And it wasn't waterproof, so I sent it back and never installed it. And I've been putting off this project for a long time, for whatever reason. I don't know, other than just not wanting to put more crap in my boat. But it's just now getting to be a pretty big pain in the ass, because we'll go out, listen to the radio for hours on end, come back, and the 2 batteries that I have powering the stereo stuff are Group 27 batteries, so they take a while to charge, and the boat just doesn't produce enough juice to charge it effectively on the way back in. It's not a long enough trip to fire them things back up all the way. So when I bring the boat back to the house to flush it out, wash it, all that stuff, I try to charge it while I'm out there doing that. And even after like 4 or 5 hours just letting it sit outside, it's still not fully charged. So a lot of times I'm forced to just bring the boat back to the storage yard when the batteries aren't all the way charged. So I started looking again for onboard battery chargers, and I finally just bit the bullet and I got one. So here's what I'll do. I'll show you what I got. So I went with the Noco Genius. If I can. It's a 3-bank battery charger here, and it's pretty nice. It's heavy. It's probably about, if I had to take a guess, about like 7 or 8 pounds. It's a heavy duty thing. So those of you that don't know, I'm sure probably everybody pretty much knows what these things are and how they work. You mount this inside the boat somewhere, and you permanently mount it to your batteries with these ring connectors right on the posts of the batteries. They've all got fuse lines on each one of them, and 12 volt 4 amps on each bank. And then this is where you plug it in, wherever you're going to plug it in at. So this is going to be my next project. Oh yeah, here. So I also bought this thing. It's like a nice little fancy addition to it. I'm going to cut it in somewhere, so that's where that's all you'll see. You won't have to have any wires coming out of where I'm going to install it. Just be able to plug it right into that thing. Everything will be hidden, and then the extension cord will go to that. And that way, when I'm here at the boatyard, I can plug it in here at the boatyard throughout the whole week, and that way when I come up on the weekends, the batteries are fully charged. So, and there's every couple poles here in the boatyard, there's a big junction box there that we can plug into, and I'll just run it down this fence and keep the boat charged throughout the week. So this is going to be my next video. I plan on installing it in the battery compartment where they are now, but I have a 10-inch sub box in there that I think I'm going to have to move, and so I'm just going to move that over to the other side with the other sub box that's in there. So I'll have two 10-inch subs in their boxes on one side. Hopefully the weight distribution won't be set off a little bit there. So that's the project, and I'll go up and show you kind of where I'm thinking to put it. Okay, so here's my little battery compartment here. As you can see, I got the batteries kind of crammed in there a little bit and all secured nice and tight. Then I got my 12-inch sub or my 10-inch sub in its box here. Now this is one place I could put it. I read the directions. It doesn't say you can't mount it flat. The other option is mount it up under here, but then I'm gonna have to screw through here, and you'll see shit on that side. That way I could leave the sub in there. The other option is take this sub out, like I was saying earlier. And right back in here, this is wood. I don't know if you can see it. That's a wood panel that blocks off behind this area underneath the behind the speaker and all that shit. So that's a wood panel, and that's actually screwed in to the floor, and that's nice and secure in there. So I could screw it to that and everything would be out of the way, and then I could reposition my batteries so they're a little bit more accessible. So I've not decided which one I want to do yet. Obviously this would be the easiest one. Just keep it right on the ground on the bottom of the boat, screw it in, be done with it, and then, you know, kind of snake the cords around out of the way. This would also look neat. This would protect it up here from water coming down on it. Even though it's waterproof, it'll be hidden up here, and obviously back in there that'll be even more hidden and out of the way. And then I could actually have a little bit more space in here. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm not sure. And then I got to figure out where to drill this in, because I got to drill a 2-inch hole to mount that somewhere. So I don't know if I'm gonna do it on this side or back here, kind of out of sight, out of mind. I might do it out of here, over here on this side, behind the chair. Out of sight, out of mind. I haven't figured that out yet either, but as soon as I figure it out, well, your next scene in this video is going to be me figuring it out. So until then. Okay, so I decided to put it right here. We're going to mount it right up in here. That way it's out of sight, out of mind. A little bit of protection, even though it's waterproof from water dripping in there. So here's what I'm going to use. I'm using 1024 by 1.5 inch stainless steel bolts. I got some washers in there, but then I'm going to have some acorn bolts on the back side to kind of make it a little bit more decorative, not so nasty. But because I went with the number 10 size, I had to drill these holes out just a little bit in here to allow them to fit. Use a 13/64 drill bit and just rounded them out a little bit. That'll allow the size 10 steel bolts to go in there. So now I just gotta hold this and drill my first hole, and that way I can get everything else lined up after that first one. Alright. Yep, went through, nice clean cut. Good, alright. I hate the sound of fiberglass. Yeah, those are clean. Perfect. Alright. There. Installed. Nice and tight. Okay, just to recap, size 10, 24 thread, 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches is too long. You could get away with 1 inch. So I didn't really show it in the video, but I put a spacer behind the actual battery tender here in between on this side to kind of make up for some of the gap on this side, because I couldn't go very deep with those acorn nuts. So I put a spacer back there. I just used another little nut, a little bit bigger than these, so it just slides over, creates a spacer. So an inch would probably do you fine, or an inch and a half, and do what I did. Put a spacer back in there. But did that, put a washer up there on the outside, and then a lock washer, little lock washer, all size 10. And you can see, that's it, the 4 little acorn nuts. Looks pretty clean. That's it. Boat's dirty, but yeah, that's it. So that's all that you're going to see on the outside. So this part is easy. Positive to positive, negative to negative, in case you're wondering. Or black to black, red to red. So doing stuff like this is just kind of up to you. Preference if you want to try to hide tuck your wires. I got some carpet under here that I'm going to try to tuck some of the slack under. And I'm going to zip tie everything right here to the handle, kind of keep it a little neat. I'll cut off that slack later. I'm just going to run everything around the back side, keep it out of sight. Okay, this is negative. You're not going to be able to see the other ones because I got this stuff tucked way back in there. Alright, there's battery number 2. Alright, so everything's in there. Ran the wires down here. Now there's some extra carpet. You could probably see it. Pull it out, and I've done it before with speaker wire. And you pull it out, and then you can glue it back in if you want. But there's probably a good 4 or 5 inches. I just stuffed them in there. And it comes down in, if you look over here on the other side, it comes down like inside of this little lip right here on the outside. That's where you're tucking the wires at. So just kind of tucked them under the carpet and stuffed it back in there. And there it is. So got this one hooked up, ran them over here, this battery, and I got one back to the starter battery as well. So all 3 batteries are hooked up. All that's left is the power cord. And I think you can either do it over here or up in here. And I think I'm gonna do it here just for ease of access. When I come in the boat, I can just bring the extension cord and plug it in right here. That way I don't have to crawl over there. So that's gonna be our next deal with a nice little 2-inch bit. I think this was like 14 bucks at Lowe's. So we'll see how this goes. Let me get set up and then we'll be back. All right, there we are. Bunched up the carpet a little bit. Let's see this one. All right, there it is. You can see. Put that back in there. You can see it's a pretty thick hole in there. If you ever wonder how sturdy this stuff is, you can see it's just a small layer of fiberglass, then looks like 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch plywood in that hole. So here we go. That's gonna be a biscuit out of there. All right, so now feed that through and mount it just like that. This has got a watertight little seal in there. Probably should drill a pilot hole. That's it. Watertight. Cord comes in here. Stays in here. I just gotta figure out a way to run it up and hide it underneath. Make this lip just like that. That works. Top. There, that way the cord, the actual connection is underneath this lip. Can't get wet. Perfect, there it is. Nice and neat. Alright, well, let's get the extension cord and see if it works. Yeah, it's not gonna commit. There we go. Solid red lights means they're charging. All 3 of them. So it works. That was easy. About 30 minutes maybe. You can see the lights. Yep, all 3 are charging. About 30 minutes. Would have been longer if I didn't have help from my wife, I think. So yeah, that was easy. So again, this was $149 for the charger.
On Amazon?
On Amazon, yep. And this little plug here was, I think this was 15 bucks. for this thing, and you don't have to have this. This was just a nice to have, because you saw the cord in here. You could just lift this up and plug it in directly into the extension cord. You can do that if you want. I don't ever do things easy, so it's just nice to have. And that was it, man. This whole project was less than 200 bucks, including all the stainless steel hardware that I had to get to go with it. And that's it. 30 minutes, 45 tops. So yeah, I hope y'all liked the video, and hope it helps somebody to get to do this if they want. If anybody has any questions, let me know. I can leave the product in my description box below if you want. And yeah, we'll see you next time.